Good morning, everybody. For those of you that are still awake, alive and kicking, it is the German Grand Prix for round 18 of this 24 hours of F1. I'll be here for Germany, France and Britain. And joining me for Germany and France is one of my good friends, actually. It is Luke Etheridge. Welcome to the commentary box, Luke.
Good morning, Jess. Good morning, Vietnam. I just wanted to say that.
Nice catchphrase there, and Germany is one of those tracks where it does provide a lot of action, like we seen last year, obviously in 2019. I remember when obviously Daniel Kvyat got his podium as well, and the two Mercedes struggled there, and it just brought out everything you generally don't know is going to win. And we could see something similar like that today. We haven't had many wet races, I think, this morning at all, so we could see one today. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah.
Yeah, I think if you are going to get a wet race for next three, Germany, France and Britain, definitely your best opportunity. Not known for the best of weather. Fingers crossed that we do see some great action though. And once again, Louis, he's just ridiculously good, isn't he? Like, we need to ban pads from F1 2019 because then it might give everyone else a chance.
Yeah, I mean, every race he's been in my lobby, he's won. So he almost got close to not winning in the USA because I was watching the last 10 minutes of it. But he got a penalty. Well, Rafa got a penalty, so that's why Louis won that one. So, yeah, I mean, he's just too good. I mean, every league he's too good. The only person he comes close to is Jarno Opmeer, who is an esports driver, obviously. He's insanely fast, apart from him. But, you know, he's in this lobby today, and I know he's good around Germany because he's good in other leagues, I think. I'm not going to mention any names as well. I do believe we're missing on one driver. If I could just check who it is a Alpha. So one of the Alphas is missing, and then we could should about get going as well. Don't forget, we are raising money for NHS Charities Together. Obviously, it's a great cause. There are a lot of frontline workers from the NHS, so we are doing it for them and helping them support this terrible virus that is going around. And speaking of the lockdown, how are you coping with all this lockdown things, Luke? Are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Luckily for me, I can still work from home, and I actually had a week booked off, which was great. I got to explore all the sights and sounds of my back garden for a week. But I think it's typical that this has probably been the best spell of weather I can remember in April for my entire life, and we've all got to stay indoors and not really enjoy it. You just know as soon as lockdown ends, it's going to absolutely throw it down with rain.
Yeah, I bet you it happens as well. I'm in a situation where I can work from home from Monday onwards as well, so I'll be back to some sort of normality. But it's just been hard for me at times, but some bits it's been alright. But I think after last week I got super bored. I just wanted to go back. So hope you guys are coping in the chat, and hope you guys are staying home. I think everybody that's meant to be racing is in the lobby, so we could get started soon once the admins say go, of course. So yeah, good job to Aiden there, who did the last hour, I believe. And then I think it was Mark that did the hour before that. So thank you to those guys. And yeah, who do you think, apart from Louis, is there anyone that's going to challenge him for this win in Germany?
Well, obviously, Rafa did finish ahead of him last time out on track, so he'll be wanting to do well at his home circuit. I think it's going to be a case of Pad Goat versus German Goat for the win here. And I don't think German fans wouldn't mind seeing two Ferraris battling around here. I think they're the ones who's going to be the top two. Whether anyone else can get close to them, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and whilst we wait, because I think we've had a few issues from a few of the drivers, we've got an updated standing. So, due to Louis' wins this morning, we've got Bois that's winning the standings with 363 points. Then we've got NXX with 311. Then we have Team Smooth Operator, 290 points. And then we have TUF on 280. Mean Team with 246. Team QBR with 195 points. And Nordic E-Racing, 181 points. And Cymax in 8th, 177 points. We got the Absolute Unit in 9th place with 168 points. And then we've got TBC in 10th with 158 points. And we've got 11th IRL All-Stars. And then we've got Team Rogue Nation, then IRO, then Livid E-Racing, then and then it's TNR, LAE, then Zenith, then ILRC, and then OWR. Then in last place with 73 points is A1 All-Star. So it is pretty close between the likes of the Mean Team, TUF, and Smooth Operator, and potentially Team QBR as well, if they can get some good results under the bag as well. And these are these races where it's just going to get a little bit more tricky. Some of the guys may have stayed up a bit longer helping their teammates, and it's just powering on through for the last 4 hours or so, because that's how long we got left.
Yeah, fatigue will definitely become an issue. I think having Monaco at 7 a.m. in the morning is particularly cruel for some of the drivers that seem to struggle around there. Germany's not too bad. France, you're not going to hit anything within about 5 miles of the circuit, so you should be fine there. And all the drivers are starting to get ready now, so hopefully soon we'll have some one-lap qualifying action. You've got to say, though, it's looking good for Bois with Louis driving for them. They're looking very good at the top of the standings at the moment.
Yeah, they are. I'm excited to see how they can do as well. And we are getting I think we're going to get into the lobby. Yes, we are. Yay. And I need to quickly change the audio settings so you guys can hear everything. I think you will be able to, so that is not a problem. Yeah, everything's all good now. So, it is one-shot qualifying, don't forget. So, 1 lap, if they invalidate, they invalidate, and they will be disqualified from the qualifying session. I will have to remember to actually switch to qualifying, which I'll do now before I forget. There we go. That's all 20 drivers ready. So, we can see who's racing. I think I've probably commentated on pretty much all of them, apart from, I think, Dylan. And I saw another driver in there who I haven't commentated on this morning. And I think that's it. Everybody else I think I've seen pretty much. And it is sunny. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, I'm never going to get a wreck. Oh, I had a wet quali in, I think, Baku. But that's kind of pretty much it. But, yeah. I think turn 1's going to be the interesting one. And turn 2 and 3 as well. The DRS straights that fall out. Pretty much follow after each other, to be honest with you. So it's crucial that they get those right, and they're going to be relieved there's no rain for qualifying, so they can gain some speed, I presume.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that. Turn 1, as you said, very tricky. Track limit's a big issue usually around that corner, especially in qualifying. But I think we're going to see some good laps around here. And last 2 times it's raced in F1, in real F1 in Germany, it has rained, of course. So I think we could still see some big rain at some point today.
Yeah, Raikkonen has invalidated, I believe, so he's not going to sell lap time. We're going on. I'm trying to find someone haven't been on board with this morning. Let's go on board with Toxic actually, because we didn't go on board with him. I think the last time I've commentated on him was, I think, Belgium, I think it was, and he's done pretty well as well in that racing point. Let's just count how many times I accidentally say the other one. I think I didn't done that so far, so that is good to see. So, going through turn 11 then, the corner where we've seen a certain F1 driver bottle it coming up. Actually, it's coming up now, actually. I'm not going to mention names. Actually, I will. Vettel, who bottled it in a few years ago. As Toxic doing quite well. He's in 3rd place at the moment. And it looks like we've got someone that's actually going to beat Louis. It's between Louis and Toxic for P2. We know Ash Best is going to get pole position, but wow, look at the top 3. That's the closest qualifying we've seen throughout the whole 24 hours. It's separated like by thousands of a second between Ash Best, Toxic, and Louis. Louis 3rd. He's not 2nd. Toxic just beat him there.
Yeah, great lap from both racing points. We were following Toxic on stream, obviously. I had Ash Best on board. He nailed everything. So, racing point 1, 2, and Ash Best, he might have the Lithuanian flag on, but he is German, so he'll be pretty happy with that performance. But Louis, he started last time, and it didn't seem to make much difference. So the race could be a whole different kettle of fish. And fingers crossed, we might get a bit of drizzle just to spice things up a bit more.
Yeah, I hope so, but we'll have to wait and see. So I'll just scroll down the standings. We've got Ash Best, Toxic, Louis, McCrew, Max. We've got Rafa, Alonso, Pablo, Pit, Matt, and then we've got Larkin. Nice to see him here. And we've got Jonas, Brandon, Andrews, and I didn't see what else pops up on my screen, but hopefully you guys got it on stream. So I can't remember how many laps it is. I think I should have it written down somewhere on my notes.
34.
34, okay. So no rain in sight, but you never know. We could see rain towards the end. We could see a dry to wet race. So and it's not over yet. So the softs, I believe, could go to about lap 7, and then potentially, it doesn't last very long here, so obviously they will have to go on the softs anyway for their 2-stop strategy. I've got 1-stop strategy notes. I should get 2-stop strategy notes, but there we go. So we've got Ash Best on pole. His last pole, I believe, I can't remember what race it was. I think it was Bahrain or Austria. I can't remember. Well, it might have been Hungary, actually, where he got the win. I'm not sure, but I know he's won this morning anyway. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. It's quite overcast, actually, so everything can change. Just of the top 10, they have to start on the tyres that they set their fastest lap on, which is the soft. And we've got quite a few mixture in the middle half of the grid, haven't we, Luke?
Yeah, it was in that qualifying session. It was only Splinter who tried to get into the top 10 on those mediums. It didn't work for him, so he's got a fresh set of medium tyres, as have Jonas, Brandon Glover, XL, and Campbell at the back. Everyone else starting on the soft tyres. So it'll be interesting to see what different strategies everyone goes for. I think out of the top 10, it could be soft, medium, medium, maybe trying to stretch it to soft, medium, soft. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I've never done a 2-stop in Germany around my life, but yeah, I think soft, medium, medium could be the fastest strategy available, but there may be some people that haven't done 2-stops before. Don't like what I've seen in Australia. They could pit early, get the softs out of the way since they know they don't last very long, and then get on 2 sets of mediums and do very long stints on both of them and get it to the end. I think that's what most people would probably do. We'll just have to wait. I need to still do a tweet to say that we are live, so I'll do that quickly now. I should have done this earlier, but I forgot. Luke is on it already, so he's done it already, so I need to do one now. There we go, tweet done and dusted. So I've said it to all the other commentators I've commentated with, well, most of them. Who's your top 3, do you think, for the race?
Oh, I'm going to... You know what, I'm going to go for something different. I'm going to go for Rafa to win, Ash Best second, and Louis just to get third.
Yeah, I think... Is Louis German by any chance? I think he is.
I know Ash and Rafa. I don't know about Louis, but maybe, yeah, home advantage proving to be a thing here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Can someone clear me up on that in chat? That would be brilliant. So, yes, we've got all 20 cars raring to go. Some of them I haven't seen before. Some of them are familiar faces. Are great to see. So, for the fourth to last time on this 24-hour, the 5 red lights are coming on your screen. We've got 5 red lights. And we are underway, and it looks like a pretty decent start from both the Racing Point boys. Toxic's got a really good start, actually. Ash Best dropped off a little bit and is up to P2. Toxic up to P1. Louis in P3, and we got contact, I believe, from one of the other Ferraris. That is Rafa, Brandon, and McCrew that had a bit of a contact in turn 1. It was inevitable that they were going to have turn 1 issues, I must say, but oh my goodness, it's going to be 3-1 into turn 5 and 6 in the Parabolica. Larkin trying to get the inside of both Pablo and Alonso by the looks of things. He got past Pablo, but it is too hard to get past Alonso, I must say as well. Ash Best gets past Toxic in the Racing Point, but is Toxic going to get the switch back? No, he does not. So Ash Best back in the lead, but what a great start from Toxic.
Yeah, Toxic got an absolutely lightning start off the line. Those in second and fourth seemed to get a good start on that side of the grid. It was McCrew in the McLaren. He got a great start, just slightly skidded, and as he corrected, that sent him across the track and into Rafa. So such a shame for them. Seems like I've jinxed Rafa already, so apologies for that. But Louis dropping down the field as well.
Louis had contact with Pablo. They both had enough or something, or it might be just Louis had enough. I don't know. So Louis has made a mistake. I mean, you know, I think I've jinxed him as well, and he's got front wing damage, so he has to pit for a new wing for sure, because there's no way he's going to last. Yes, he's into the pit. So this is the first race where we're going to see him struggle, I think, but I don't think there was any fault of his own there. I think he might have got caught in something. I don't know. Maybe I'll have some light into that as well. And somehow, I think Toxic, has dropped down to 11th. He's had a... Oh... Toxic and Dylan has had a coming together. They're down into 5th. I swear, with these predictions, we're not doing very well for the first race back, I must say. But Max up into 2nd, Alonso up into 3rd. What's going on?
At the front seems to be having problems. I mean, Raikkonen's gone from 19th on the grid into 6th. We've got McCrew, our first retirement. But yeah, not sure what happened with Louis. Toxic getting a penalty for a collision with Warren. Can only imagine that's when he's been trying to get back onto the circuit, because they were nowhere near each other. But Max Still, Alonso, they've done pretty well as well. In fact, Max Still's very close to Ash Best out in front, and they'll be able to have the DRS next time around. So maybe we could see the Renault challenging the Racing Point for the victory here. There's still a long way to go, obviously, of course.
Yeah, I think I won't be surprised if Louis has lost concentration, because I can't remember how many races he has done in this 24 hours so far. I don't think he's got any sleep yet. Just let me know if anyone that's watching, has Louis had sleep yet? That probably might be the reason why he had a bit of a issue. I do not know, but we'll obviously find out after the race what has happened to Louis. And he's right behind, I believe, Brandon Glover as well, who's also had an incident in lap 1. And Louis is on the softs, so I'm guessing he wants to keep his strategy, but at least he could go on those softs and then either go onto the hards or the mediums until the end, because obviously he's done one stop, you can do 2. Raikkonen's dropped off a little bit from 7th, and that's Tonisek up into 6th place. Great work from the TNR boys in 6th place for now. Pit Matt in 5th place, and I think Larkin might have a cheeky battle soon as well, but I think the more important battle we're going to see is a battle between Matt and Ash Best for the front 2 positions.
Yeah, I think that's going to get very close. Louis actually got away with this without any damage. I don't believe he's had to make a pit stop yet, so he'll just be trying to run his normal strategy. He won't want to be sticking around in 12th place for too long. He's on older tyres, so he might find it a bit hard. So whether he's seen pit a bit earlier on, try to get himself a bit of free air. His teammate Rapper come out in 15th, Toxic having to pit as well. We've seen a lot of pit stops in the first few laps, and we're seeing the first few scheduled ones. Alonso and Pit Matt coming in, and indeed Louis has come in early to try and ditch those soft tyres, get some free air. I wouldn't count him out of this race just yet.
Yeah, I don't think so as well. So yeah, I think Louis might have made a mistake going onto those softs. I think that's probably why he had to really, but he's got nothing to lose, I think, due to the fact that he is mega quick on a pad on the mediums anyway, so he can try and get past these guys. But you never know. There might be gambles that he has done and it hasn't worked, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. There's a scrap for the middle position. The Splinter up into 8th place. That's great for ILRT. Splinter hasn't had good races so far, but he's having a good one this time around, as Brandon Glover has got past him in the Haas. He's up into 8th place. That is the Mercedes of ILRT down into 9th place, but still looking pretty good. Alonso's still trying to come back from his mistakes in this race, which is a bit of a shame. But and we're looking like to see more people in those pits, responding to other people pitting. That is Ash Best, Max, and I think Larkin and Bjorn Nate, or is it Bjorn Attle? I don't even know how to say his name, but I'm going to call him Bjorn, if that's alright. So there we go, those guys are in the pits. We'll see what Bjorn goes on to. I think that's the mediums, yes. So everybody that's pitted so far, they're on the mediums. So yeah, it's proven my theory perfectly.
Yeah, no surprise there. I think Brandon Glover will be pretty happy that Bjorn pitted, because he was starting to get held up by his teammate. We've seen a few Hassers have incidents before, haven't we, in F1. Pit Matt, he's now trying to move his way up the field on those medium tyres. In fact, Neil's getting swamped on his soft tyres. It'll be interesting to see how long Niels and Raikkonen go on these softs. Surely it's just going to cost them time now. But out of those who have pitted, it is Max Still who is leading the race out of them. So he's got the net race lead at the moment, and Alonso doing well. He'll be in a net 2nd position. So Ash, that staying out a bit longer, look how much time it's cost him.
Yeah, I mean, the undercut is very powerful around Germany. I've experienced that before, and usually I do the undercut just to get ahead of my rivals, and that has really helped Max in the Renault. Like, we're seeing upsets, I think, so far tonight. Well, this morning. The teams that you're expecting to be up there at the top, they're just down all over the place at the moment. As Raikkonen, he's pitting, I'm guessing it's for his scheduled stop, which is for the mediums. He goes on to, yes he does, so that is his first stop completed. His pit crew has been holding up for a long time, but it might be just him having a long pit stop, which is a bit of a shame for him right now. Meanwhile, we got Bjorn and Raikkonen having a scrap. We got Brandon Glover and Max going up for a move inside the Parabolica. Looks like Max is going to stay in P3, but Brandon Glover is not over just yet for him. Also, we've got Pablo and Niels fighting for P10 of this race, and can he get the lunge that he needs? Niels is going to try around the outside, but I'm guessing if he wanted to get that move done, he would have had to hit Pablo, and he wouldn't want that. So that is Niels still down in 11th, Pablo still in 10th, but look at the gap he's pulling from Niels there.
Yeah, unsurprising really. Niels does have damage. His front right wing end plate is missing, so he doesn't want to send the other bit of his front wing missing. Turns out Ash actually got held in the pit lane slightly, so that's what's cost him in the pit stop. And unsurprisingly there, you saw Lewis setting the fastest lap in that free air. He's now catching up to the back of Niels, so I think he could definitely have a part to play in the latter stages if he can maybe just make these tyres last a bit longer than everyone else, as Niels actually dives into the pit lane. That clears the path for Lewis. Further up, Max, he's trying to get past everyone now. Great move to get past Brandon Glover, giving himself some free air, using those fresh tyres to the best advantage, as Alonso has managed to get past Sprinter as well for 5th position.
Yep, so he's coming back after all of this. So that is great to see as well on those fresher medium compounded tyres. And that's Niels into the pits for his first stop. He goes on to a set of the medium compounded tyres. The only ones on the hard are XL Bree and Toxic, who had a little bit of trouble earlier on. So they're likely going to go on the hards for pretty much most of this race and then go on the softs at the end. But here comes Rafa, the homeboy, who we thought was going to get a good result, is now down in 12th, but he got the move done on Bjorn in OWR and is up to 12th position. I mean, I think it must be a hometown curse for these German drivers, I must say. Rafa's had a bit of an off as well, and I think there's some more German drivers. Ash Best is undercut, didn't work either, so you know, it might just be the curse. I think they're going to hope that there could be some rain on the cards.
Yeah, maybe. We have seen German Ferrari drivers struggle here in the past, especially once the conditions have got a bit damp. But Louis and Rafa, they're working their way. Rafa's in free air now. Sure, he can still put in a good performance and get himself and his team a few points in this race. What's going to be important is how long those that started on the medium tyres, how long into this race can they go on for? They're on to lap 8 now. Jonas and then Campbell. Max behind, he's pitted. As Ash Best, he's now working his way back up the field. Gets past Splinter using the DRS, so that's a racing point up into 6th place. Alonso will be his next target.
Yeah, Alonso, his rival, of course, in this league as well. NXX in 2nd place, and I know Ash Best would want to do well to get a better result than them for the German Grand Prix. They don't have that long to get up the standings, to be honest. 4 races, well, including this one, we've got 4 races, so if they don't pick up things up together, then it could be a position over for the race victory. Don't forget, 25 points if you get the race win here as normal, and then I think it's 22, then 20, so everyone will get a point unless they do not finish, as McCrew from Livid Racing will be the only one so far not to get a point, and that's why Toxic's still going, because obviously he wants to get a point for his team. He doesn't want to let his team down, of course. As the fastest lap so far, I know it's not going to mean anything, so there's no fastest lap point set by Louis, surprise, surprise, with a 1:14.574. He's mega quick on those medium compounded tyres. I'm sure it's going to be hard for the people to get those fastest lap. But here comes Alonso on Brandon. That was way before the entry of the hairpin then, but Brandon's going to cover off him, but that's not going to work, unfortunately, Brandon. As there is another position gained for NXX Alonso in the McLaren driver. He's been driving faultless this race and pretty much most of these races today, and that's Louis also gained another position. He's up into 10th already. I mean, he's gained quite a few positions in like 5 or 6 laps. I mean, you know, the podium or even the top 5, it's just not over for this kid. What is going on?
Like we said, we know he's pretty good around this track. We know he's pretty good around an F1 car. Pablo Juglar tried his best, but wasn't able to fight off Louis. He's now got Pitmat in range. And remember, Pitmat was quite close to the front of the field before the set of pit stop, so there's still a great chance for Louis to get some points here. Alonso now, he's up into 4th place. That will become 2nd once we see Tionis and Campbell pit. 3.5 seconds behind Max, who is currently in 3rd place, net race leader. He's trying to close into Campbell. He's just outside of the DRS range, but I'd expect him in the next lap or two. We're going to see Max making some moves as he tries to retake the lead of this race.
Yeah, he wants to go for it. I mean, like, there's not many teams that have got race victories in this 24 hours, and he wants to make his team one of them. And obviously, we did see Julian win one race in Bahrain, and he's looking to be one of those guys who can maintain that as well. I believe it's TNR that he's representing, I believe. So he wants to get race win number 2 for him, which is looking possible at the moment. He's a net leader compared to the likes of Campbell and Tonis. Obviously, they have still yet to pit in terms of people making their pit stops. Splinter, Brandon, Campbell, and Tonis only ones to not make their stops, and Louis obviously I thought Louis made 2 stops. I'm confused.
No, he didn't have any front wing damage after he went off circuit, so he's just been able to run a normal strategy. So he's still got one more stop to make.
Okay.
For Louis at the moment.
Well, it might be the drive-through, I don't know, but I'm not sure. I swear he pitted twice, or it might just be another Ferrari pitting. It was probably another Ferrari pitting, but there we go. That's another position gain for Louis into 9th place. I mean, I think, you know what he reminds me of? I think he reminds me of Max Verstappen. He's climbing his way through the field, and also Lewis Hamilton as well. And we've got a potential battle for the race lead, or on-track lead anyway, as Campbell, with a swerving move around the inside, he gets the job done. He's in the lead of this race so far, which is going to be crucial for the pit stops when they make their first stop, because they want to be ahead of them if they can as well. But Max is on the back of them. He's got to get ahead of them, because otherwise the likes of Alonso could catch up in the next couple of laps or so. Pablo, another driver to get past Splinter as well. Actually, no, Pablo is really fighting against Splinter at the moment. They're on similar strategy as well, so Splinter doing a good job this race, I think. I must say, he's done the right. They've made the right decision choosing Splinter for this race, as it is his strongest performance so far. And obviously, there's no more street circuits left. So, well, if you count Rushford as a street, I don't think you can count Rushford as a street circuit. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll figure that out soon. As here comes Pablo then on Splinter. Is he going to get the run into turn 1? He's going to try, I think, towards turn 3. I think, by the looks of things. He's going to get the lunge. No, he's not. I'm not sure when he's going to do it, to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see anyway. But Maxi gets past one of the different strategies from Tonis. Can he get past Campbell? That's left to be seen. But meanwhile, Pablo gets past Splinter then for 10th place, and Pip has got past, I believe, Larkin up into 7th place. But we'll watch our battle for. So Max still in the race lead, and he's got to make sure he comes across Campbell, because otherwise he's going to be in trouble.
Yeah, he's not being held up at the moment too much by Campbell. He'll try and catch him in the DRS. So Louis, though, he's catching up to Pit, Matt and Larkin. These guys battling is just allowing Louis to catch up, although we have seen him get a 3-second penalty. It's going to be interesting when Campbell, Tonis and Brandon Glover pit, see what tyres they go on to, whether they can go for the softs or whether they'll stick with the medium tyres for their second stint. But Max, he's now going to be in DRS range of Campbell. Is he going to be close enough to have a go into the hairpin? That Red Bull has actually got a great exit there coming off of turn 3. So I don't think the Renault is going to be close enough this time, unless he goes for a Ricciardo-esque lunge. And no, I think he might have to wait another day to try and get that move done and take the lead of this race.
Yeah, I think that's what he's got to do for that. But meanwhile, Ash Best, he's just holding on to Brandon into turn 6 of the hairpin, and he gets it done. So Ash Best up into 5th place right now. He's going to try and get some good points, knowing that the win is probably going to be out of his hands unless everybody else in front of him has a horrible race. And Louis back up is into 7th place. Now he got past Larkin. I mean, I swear people are just letting him through, or maybe just Louis is just mega quick. But enough about Louis. Let's concentrate on the other drivers as well. We got Pit Matt, Pablo. They're still, well, actually Pablo still fighting for P9, and we got Campbell and Tonis then, the second last drivers to do their pit stops. And it'll be intriguing to see what they go on to. I think they'll be going on to another set of mediums.
Yeah, it's just a bit too early to try and get another set of soft tyres on Louis, though. In good condition. It's his 10th lap. He's set another fastest lap up into 5th place, so that'll be 4th once we see Brandon pit. He could still get a podium here. Whether he'll get a win, he's going to have to try and find 11 seconds over 21 laps on Max, who has now got a clear run in that Renault. All drivers will have to pit once again, let's not forget, and whether they go into the softs or the mediums for the last stint, that could be decide who's going to take the win here today. Whereas Lewis been able to work his way through the field, his teammate Rafa seems to be struggling a bit more. Did have that longer first stop to replace his front wing, of course. He's down in 12th position at the moment.
Yeah, Rafa not doing very well, I must say, but it is still not over. We've got we've got 2/3 of the race to go, so anything can happen for Rafa. I mean, we could see a lot of people go off, but that's probably not going to happen. So Rafa, he's just got to focus now for the rest of this race and make sure he pits at the right time. The mediums, as far as I'm aware, if I just get my notes up quickly, its optimum pace is around about lap 15, but I think you go to, I think, about 20 laps, I think, on the mediums. I'm not entirely sure, but what is puncture territory around here? Do you know? Have you experienced puncture territory on this game?
No, I haven't, but I think that's because I'm too slow that I don't really put much load through the tyres, to be honest. Interestingly, Brandon Glover has gone for the soft tyres. I think we'll see Rafa go for around, in total, about 15, 16 laps on those tyres, so expect him to pit around about lap 18 or 19, and then probably another set of mediums on towards the end. Will be easier, of course, as the fuel load comes off the cars.
Yeah, well, I think so as well. The less fuel you have, the more you're going to actually start to push as well. And I'm surprised they're doing really well on fuel saving today. So I guess they just want to get through this and make sure that they push at the right time. As Niels, I think that's the first penalty I've seen, unless I've seen quite a few penalties, but I wasn't paying attention to them. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, Germany could be unforgiving in terms of corner cutting penalties. So watch out for possible position change towards the end of this race if they can't keep the car together, to be honest. And yeah, so here's the order then, due to the fact everyone pretty much has pitted. So Max, your race leader, with Alonso in second. Then we've got Ashbest in third, Louis in fourth, and Larkin in fifth. And as I say, the order, Ashbest gets a 3-second time penalty, and we've got Pitmat in sixth, Pablo in P7, and I think, I'm not entirely sure, I think it's Cabernet at P8. I need to check how many stops he's done. He's done the one. So,
yeah.
I think, yeah, it is an
Thomas have done one.
Yeah, but they have to pit again, so.
Campbell, though, he's working his way up now on those fresher tyres. He's got past Pablo Joglar into 7th position. I don't think it's going to be long before Chonis fights his way through. I'm interested to see how Brandon does on those soft tyres, how long he can get those softs to last, because that could be an indication as to whether we see those who started on the softs go back onto them for the final stint or not. They'll definitely be quicker for the first few laps when they come out. It's just whether they can get them to last long enough without risking a puncture.
Yeah, most of the races on this game I've experienced puncture territory from drivers is Germany. I mean, they could push really, really hard, and 24 laps I think you could go on, so you know, they've got to be careful that they don't reach that. But we haven't experienced many puncture territories when I've been on stream anyway, so that's probably saying something right now. The gap at the front, 3.2 seconds. I was not expecting Max to pull up that little gap, but I've seen a few clips on Twitter, of course, and he is quick, he is fast. He means business here in this 24-hour, and he could pull up an upset this morning if the other guys can't get past him. But don't forget, there are pit stops to be made. I'm sure Alonso and Ashbest will be thinking on the undercut pretty soon. In about, I'm not sure how many laps time it will be, but as soon as one person pits, the other has got to respond. So the question is, when will they do that? And it is getting hotter by the looks of things. The sun is coming down, so the tide temps are going to be a lot difficult to manage for these drivers.
I still think it's going to be around lap 20 for those leaders who pitted earlier on. Ash, though, he's going to be watching out behind him because Louis is catching up and he's dragging Larkin and Pitmat along with him. So the final few laps could see a fascinating battle for those podium positions, for the final podium position. Anyway, at least Alonso is just sort of on his own at the moment, doing his own race. 3.3 seconds behind the leader, 5 seconds ahead of Ashbest. You've got to say these front two are looking good to finish 1-2 at the moment, but we're only halfway through this race. Anything could happen.
I think that's our catchphrase, to be honest. Anything can happen, and it's not over until the checkered flag falls. So watch out for these guys. We've seen like we almost saw an upset in the USA where Rafa almost won the race. We could see an upset here again, like I said earlier on as well. But speaking of Rafa, he's on for his final stop, I believe. Yes, it is. So he doesn't have to pit again. On to a fresh set of mediums he goes, and I'm almost certain I can get to the end of this race. So yeah, it is, because I've seen people in one-stop races pit around about then for mediums. So yeah, he should be fine about that. That could last a good amount of laps so far. So that's a good strategy call for him, as I think a few people might respond to that. As let's see if Matt is going to go into the pits. It doesn't look like he's going to. Yes, he is. Surely Alonso's got to go in now, because otherwise he's going to have trouble. Yes, he's going in the pits as well. Ash Best, I believe he's staying out. I think that's a mistake, Luke.
But he's only done 14 laps on those tyres, so maybe just stay out a bit longer. He'll be slightly fresher towards the end, but Louis pitted as well. Most of those drivers behind have, so at the front have pitted, sorry, and Louis, who was in fourth place, he's pitted as well. Pablo Joglar coming in as well. But I think this time around, we're going to see everyone else who is on those mediums come in for their final stop, moving back on to those medium tyres. It's just for drivers like Campbell, Chonis, Glover. They're sort of the odd ones out. We're not quite sure when they'll be coming in and how they'll be looking towards the end of this race.
I do believe, if I look at the tyres for Campbell, he's on his second medium stint. So luckily Jeff will tell him to pit again to go onto the sauce. So luckily Jeff will remind him, whereas some of these guys, Jeff won't remind him. So they got to keep it together. Jeff will remind him if they tinker with the strategy, but it won't remind him if they kept to the one-stop strategy. But seeing by the way most of these guys are driven, surely that they're going to keep to this two-stop strategy, and they're going to do it well as well. So what is Ash Best and Larkin and Pitmac got to do? They've got to think about doing something, which Ash Best does. He's in the pits. He had no other choice, to be honest. He didn't want to do it, but he saw the likes of Louis Pitt, Max and Alonso, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. Larkin, Pitt, Matt, that puts Campbell and Chonis in the lead of this race again, as we've got Brandon coming out as well as Max and Alonso. They've gone way ahead. Again, another poor decision for Ash, but he's going to be on fresher tyres at the end, so that could be make or break. I do not know, but Ash Best is 2.1 seconds behind Louis, so we know Louis is a quick driver, so he's going to be a tough cookie to follow, as Louis is 1/10 from Brandon. He's going to get the outside into the parabolica and into the hairpin, and now he goes for like the millionth time. He gets past Brandon, so yes, I must say Louis doing a great comeback drive. I must say he had a bit of an instant, but I think if he didn't have that instant, he probably would have been storming ahead for this race victory by the sound of things.
Yeah, and that shouldn't really come to a surprise from anyone. To be honest, I'm surprised all of Ash Best, Pitt, Matt and Larkin pitted on that lap. I thought one of them might try and go a bit longer and just try something different, but because if you're doing the same as all the drivers around them, you've got to overtake them on track, and that's not always the easiest thing. Pitt, Matt and Larkin are now battling, in fact. Can't see Ash being able to catch up to Louis though. That gap is 3 seconds, and we know how good Louis is doing, as Brandon Glover, after only 5 laps, is ditching those soft tyres. So that strategy's really not worked well for him. I think the question is now, can Louis get close to Alonso and Max? It's going to be tall order, but I think if anyone can do it, he's your man. Yeah,
if anyone can do it, Louis can, if that makes sense. Oh no, that's a bad pun. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, Louis, yeah, he's one of those guys that can do it. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. Let us know in the chat if Louis could hold on to his position or even get a few more positions. We'll have to find out as well. So let me just get the stock counter as well. So obviously, the ones that haven't made their stops are the ones that have been on their second medium stint. And that's Niels, XL, Campbell, and Chonis then, who yet to make their stop, but they're probably going to go onto those soft tyres, because there's no point going on the mediums, because they'll get disqualified if they go onto the mediums. Toxic and XL, they've been on those hards for ever so long, and they're fighting for position. They're going to get a bit of camera time because I'm nice. So there we go. Toxic gets the move done on Bree. Bree's going to get the outside, but he doesn't think of it at the moment. So there we go. Toxic up into 16th. not quite where he wants to be. He had a good qualifying, but he just fell off under the radar after he had that incident in lap 1. So, but he's trying to have some fun in this race. It is a charity event after all.
Yeah, he must have made both of his stops ridiculously early because he's done 17 laps on those hard tyres, and it's saying that he does not need to pit again, but they're going to be well past their best towards the end of the race. We've just got to say, though, Campbell, race leader at the moment, he started in last position, and he's looking very good at the moment to score a few points, especially as he will have to come out on the soft tyres. Max is closing into him. If Campbell's got any sense, he wouldn't provide too much resistance because he's in a different race to Max and doesn't want to get caught up in a battle that in the end will just end up holding both of them and possibly costing either of them chance of a good result today.
Yeah, I've seen traffic have a major impact into people either winning or losing this race. So hopefully Campbell won't get affected by that, knowing that he still has to pit, and hopefully Max doesn't get affected by it as well. Alonso's got 2 drivers to take care of, actually 3. He's got Tonis, and then he's got to battle Max before he can get past Campbell, excuse me. I will be having a bit of breakfast after this, after the 10-minute break, just so I can get some food down me, as I'm really hungry. It's Toxic. He is got a penalty for multiple warnings, so that's not what you want. As Alonso breezes past Tonics, there he goes, up into 3rd place, into a podium spot, and this could be crucial if he needs to find 3 seconds on Max. I don't know if he's going to do it, but you know, we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. Max looks like he's got good pace. Alonso, that gap back to Louis, though, it's 3.4 seconds with 12 laps to go, so that is definitely doable. And Campbell's holding on well at the moment on those medium tyres, and not really at the point where they're starting to fall off that Pirelli cliff. So he's going to be starting to hold Max up slightly. He's well entitled to battle with him. This is a fight for position. This could be an opportunity that Alonso needs to get past. I think Max is going to be waiting for the DRS zone coming out of turn 4, heading towards the hairpin. That's going to be his best opportunity. He can't afford to stay hanging behind the back of the Red Bull for too much longer.
Nope, he can't. I mean, it's going to be really, really hard for him, but, I mean, the more he battles with Campbell, the more Alonso's going to catch up, and maybe Louis as well, and you don't want to be in that situation. So, Max, get the job done, or risk a lot of issues towards the end of this race. We've got yellow flag is set to 1, and that is a Alpha, and that's Pablo that spun it in turn 1 on the wall. That's, I think, front wing damage. I think it was damage on his own. That's I can't tell from my camera screen if it's damage or not.
Yeah, both end plates missing.
Yeah, I see it now. I do see it now. So that is his car in tatters at the moment, but he can stretch it out for a little bit more. If I was him, I would go on the softs at the end and go for a bit of a glory pace towards the end. You've got nothing else to lose at the moment, as everyone else is you could get, I think, P13 potentially, because everyone else is a little bit further back, but you know, but you can keep going towards the end. I've seen people with both end plates missing do alright in the rest of the race, and they just get through to the end. I don't know how they do it, but I think Pablo could do it, as he's a top tier driver in some leagues, so you know, he has impressed us on this day, as he's gone off the grass a bit, so maybe he's lost a bit of downforce there, so maybe he's struggling a little bit more than we thought.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him head to the pits. He might as well, because he's not going to be able to find a place to get back further up the field, and indeed he does dive into the pits. Watch out for him on those soft tyres towards the end. As further in front, Max, he's got down the inside into the hairpin. I said he needed to get that move done, and with 9.5 laps remaining, Max takes the lead of this race, and getting stuck behind the Red Bull, it's cost him about half a second though to Alonso.
Yeah, that is 4, I think it's 4 temps, I believe, 5 temps. But separating Max and Campbell now, and we got another yellow flag, and that is a Haas by the looks of things. And oh no, that's Bjorn. That's Bjorn down in 19th. He is limping home into the pit lane. That is a shame for him to do that. Actually, no, he's not limping. He's carrying on. So he might have just had a spin, I think, coming towards the final corner, I think, which is probably what happened for now, as Bjorn has got a time penalty. I think he did cut a little bit there, so that was a bit underestimated there as well. But meanwhile, it's Louis' turn to get past some traffic now. So first on his radar is Tonix. Well, actually, it's the only thing on his radar. He's got Tonix and Campbell to deal with. Then the next cars are his rivals, Alonso and Max. And I think Louis could do this, you know. He could possibly still get a podium out of this. Louis is going to get past him. Yeah, he does. I think Tonix is not going to challenge him there. Late on the brakes for Louis, which helps him a little bit there. And that's 4th place on track for him. A net P3 in this race. Somehow, he's still going to get some good points for Bro. Anyway, it's he hasn't finished outside the top 3 once in this 24-hour event. It's going to be his first loss at this race, unless he could get past Alonso and Max and find about 3 or 4 seconds, which is still doable. He's found 3 or 4 seconds on Ash Bess and Tonix, so you know, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Well, lap 26 of 34, and Campbell still yet to make a stop, and XL Bree still yet to make a stop as well. 24 laps on those cars. I mean, I know it's going to make it to the end, but it is a 2-stop strategy, my friend. You need to pit, but pretty much now, I think, to go on those softs, and then you'll be absolutely fine. Maybe in the next few laps, I think. Not now, because otherwise the softs won't last very long. But pit in the next few laps, you should be fine. Toxic won't need to pit again. He's done 2 stops. I think, as far as I'm aware, the only people yet to pit are Campbell, Tonix, and XL, potentially. And maybe Splinter.
Yeah, that is before we were yet to pit. So I think Campbell and Tonix and Splinter, in fact, they're all going to get reminded by Jeff to head into the pits. It's just XL who's got to remember on his own. But I think the car's going to be telling him, as Bjorn has now retired from the session.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for him. That's another loss for OWR in their back pocket. And hopefully I wouldn't be saying that, but unfortunately I did say that. So that was bad. But at least they can get their driver in the session already then. So they're ready for the next session raring to go. Unless Bjorn is racing in the next session, of course, which he might be. I'm not entirely sure on that one. We've got yellow flag in sector 2. That was for Bjorn in the Haas. I think that was where he binned it, I think, was sector 2. I thought it was out of pure frustration, but it wasn't. So at least Louis doesn't have to deal with Campbell, as Campbell is going into the pit lane. Onto the soft compounded tyres. As if I look at my data, the softs, they last for optimal pace, 7 laps. So yeah, he should be fine.
Yeah, he should be looking good. Vafa is going to come out in between these two. So Campbell still 7th place after starting from the back. It's a great performance from him. And Pitmat and Larkin not too far up the road either. So Pitmat will have actually DRS on Larkin heading round now towards turn 6 at the hairpin. I think that's just going to keep him close enough to the Toro Rosso, but not close enough to have a move. Soon as Campbell gets in that DRS range, though, I think Pitmat and Larkin are going to be in trouble, and we could see the Red Bull sneak into the top 5 out towards the front of the race. So Matt, 3.4 seconds ahead, and Louis, he's just outside of DRS range at the moment of Alonso. Are we going to see these two battling for 2nd place in the final 6 laps?
Oh, we could see a battle for the win here if Louis can catch up. I mean, let's look at if anyone is actually matched Louis' pace on in terms of fastest laps. Let me get the tyres actually. No. Actually, no, Max has. Max has 1/10 quicker than Louis. Actually, no, 1/10 slower than Louis. So I don't think I think the win is over for Louis. I think, but 2nd is still in the cards for him. So unless if Max slows down a bit towards the end, we could see a battle for the win, which won't be easy, I think, due to the fact that Max is on similar pace to Louis on this track then. So let's see what Louis could do here. He knows he's good. He's been mainly having dominant races. Let's see him challenge for a position today. He hasn't had light work at all, but we've seen some great moves so far. The fastest lap so far is set by Pablo on the sauce with a 1:12.8 so far. So Louis hasn't got the fastest lap as Pitmat makes a head work of Campbell, then up into 7th. I think Campbell made a little bit of a mistake, and I've just realised, I think I wasn't paying attention. Louis, I believe, has got a 3-second time penalty, so that is going to hurt him more than anything. I'm not sure about the other drivers, though, but, you know, Louis got to find 3 seconds if he gets past Alonso.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a quick check. Max has only had 1 warning so far. Alonso's had 2 warnings, so he's only 1 off a penalty. But yeah, Louis does have that 3-second penalty, and Campbell there showing the pace of them soft tyres. He gained 2 seconds in 1 lap. He's managed to get past Pit Matt. And I think Larkin without DRS is just going to be a sitting duck for that Red Bull driver, as Louis, he's now in DRS range of Alonso. Alonso's managed to get it off the lapped car of Niels just ahead, but I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. Louis is going to have the inside line heading into the hairpin, and the Ferrari on the brakes takes 2nd position. 4 and a bit seconds behind Max with 3 and a bit, with 4 laps to go. It's going to be tough for him to take the win, especially when you consider he has that 3-second penalty. But can he get far enough Alonso to get ahead of Alonso, to negate that?
Oh, I think he can. You know, he's gonna get a potential moment there as well, and I hope he can keep it consistent, Louis. But we'll see his laps pretty soon and see if he can do that as well. But Alonso is no tough cookie as well. But Alonso is down on lap pace compared to Louis. It's a 1:14.2 from Alonso, whereas Louis is at 1:13.5. So he's about, if I do my maths correctly, 7 tenths slower than Louis. So he needs to find himself 7 tenths quicker per lap for Alonso to get past Louis again. I just don't think that's going to happen for Alonso. So, but he doesn't need to do that, because as long as Alonso matches Louis, then Alonso should stay 2nd.
Yeah, and just keeping within DRS range could be a big help, because he caught up a long way on the straight there. Louis got a bit of lap traffic ahead of him. He might be able to use that to get in DRS as well. Campbell has managed to get past Larkin, but earned himself a 3-second time penalty doing so. But the Red Bull up into 5th at the moment, and I imagine he'll have enough pace to do that. Ash, 3.5 seconds up the road. I think that's just going to be a bit too much of a tall order for him. Another person to watch out for, though, further back, Chonis, 1.5 seconds behind Rafa on those soft tyres. Could the Mercedes make his way up into the top 8?
Oh, it's gonna be close, I think, but I don't know. I mean, he's doing well on the softs. He's finding a few seconds per lap, but he hasn't gained much on his previous best in Sector 2. So, you know, it's going to get close between these two. I think we're going to see a huge chunk of penalties decide some positions in this race. We've got 3 laps to go, and it's inevitable that we could see a few more penalties start to emerge, which hopefully doesn't happen for these guys, which means that valuable points will be lost for some of these drivers.
Yeah, penalties always one to watch out for, especially in the next race at France. No real danger from going off track. Quite a few times I've seen drivers get disqualified around that circuit for getting too many penalties. So I think France, the next race, is going to lead to a real mixed up order. Alonso still managing to keep in touching distance of Louis, so that's helping him keep what will be a net 2nd place on penalties. And Chonis has now got within that crucial 2nd of Rafa. Just can the Ferrari hold on to that 8th place? And there's a great battle which has been going on all race between Larkin and Pit Matt, and it's still the Toro Rosso just ahead of the Alfa Romeo.
I've got to say, Larkin, he's doing really well in matching up with these top guys. Brilliant stuff. 6th place, gonna get some good points. I mean, he must be loving life at the moment, and you know, he's having a lot of fun battling with people in his charity events. So surely he's gonna be pretty pleased with his performance so far. And I do believe everyone has done their mandatory stop. Yes, they have, I believe. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, everyone's done their mandatory stop. Pablo, though, has done 4 stops out of everybody. I mean, that is a lot of stops. I mean, that just goes to show how bad his race has become this race so far. But on the penultimate lap here, it's Alonso, who is 1 second out of Louis now. So Louis means business. You can tell by the way he's pushing on his ERS that he wants to get up and in that 3 seconds and catch up to Max. So a lot, you can say P2. I mean, you know, he's doing very well to catch up, but it might be too little too late.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for him. Is there any traffic in between himself and Max of his 1 lapped car? So maybe if that car drops back, as I say that, he earns himself another 3-second time penalty. That's always the danger you have when you're pushing that hard. So Alonso, if he keeps it clean, 3rd place should be his now. Chonis has actually managed to get past Rafa for 8th position, but still a good comeback from Rafa to finish in 9th at the moment, as long as things stay as they are. I think the main battle to watch towards the end could well be Larkin and Pit Matt on the final lap of this German Grand Prix.
Yeah, this is the moment you've all been waiting for, and Alonso has found 1.1 temps on Louis then. He is pushing as well with the DRS. He doesn't want Louis to pull away. This is great stuff. I mean, it's a battle for the strategy between Louis and Alonso. Alonso asked his Jeff, does Louis have any penalties? His Jeff said absolutely yes. And you can tell he's pushing because he's on rich fuel mix by the sound of things. So this is going to be an almighty finish between Louis and Alonso. But I think Alonso's just going to edge Louis, I'm afraid, because obviously you can't find 2 or 3 seconds in the final lap unless Alonso has enough. But Pit Matt got past Larkin into 6th place then. But let's watch our winner then. Well, our race leader coming across the final few corners. The man from TNR team, he's going to get another victory for his team under his belt. Max comes across the line and takes the winner in Germany. And Louis gets P2 on track, but he's not going to get it in the race as he drops down into 3rd place. So his first non-victory in this event, and Max and Alonso has stopped that. And Ash Best started on pole, and he's dropped down to 4th place. Campbell with another decent points finish for QWR. That's going to be beneficial for the midfield. So we've got Tonis in 8th, Rafa 9th, and Brandon Glover, I believe, is going to finish and round up the top 10. So let's see who else we've got as Brandon Glover is waving across the line. He must have had a lot of fun, I must say, even though he's down in P10. But we've got Dylan D. Warren, I think, still to go, which he comes across the line, I must say, for 11th. And then Raikkonen, Splinter, and then Toxic round up your finishers. And then we've lost Bjorn and McCrew from this race. That was not too bad, actually.
Yeah, pretty good race. Louis did a great comeback, as has been noted by a few people, but Max, he just kept it clean, and I think in the end, he had the pace. He was looking very comfortable today, kept it clean in that early stint. That's going to be a story, that race, of what might have been for a few people. Louis, what if he hadn't have had that spin on lap 1? Ash Best got held up in the pit stop, but Max took his opportunity and earned his team a very valuable win.
Yep, indeed, which could be beneficial actually. TUF are in 4th place behind Team Smooth Operator. Who was racing Team Smooth Operator this race?
Joglar. They had a nightmare of a race.
So they're going to be ahead of them. TUF are going to be ahead of Smooth Operator. They're going to be on the podium spot. This is great. This is great stuff. I mean, actually, no, it's not TUF. It's TNR, I think he's representing. My bad.
No, I think Max is actually TUF. I think TNR was one of the Mercedes drivers.
Let me have a look, actually. I don't know, actually. You can tell I've been up for so long, it's hard to say. Right, TNR is Tonis. It was... what race are we on? I don't even know what race we're on. Race 18. It hasn't been updated yet, so I can't tell who's in what team. So, yeah. It might be, actually. I'm not entirely sure. Let me just check.
Race 17 has Tionis in TNR, so, and he's got it in his name, so you'd hope, just to keep it easy for us, that's what he's doing. And NSXO getting a good 2nd place, and they need that to keep themselves with any realistic chance of beating Bois, with Louis getting that 3rd place. But it's Max for TUF who got the victory today, and that should be enough to put them into 3rd place in the championship standings.
Yeah, indeed. So that is it for Germany. We'll be at France. Let's see when we're going to be at France. Are we ahead of schedule? Oh my goodness, we are way ahead of schedule. We're meant to be starting France at 9:42. And yeah, that is a massive break, I must say. I was going to say, oh, let's have a quick rundown of what's been going on, but we're going to be ending up talking for 20 minutes. So actually, no, 8:33, I believe. Oh no, that's from earlier. So, if I can get confirmation from the admins if we are starting at 9:42, that would be lovely. I think that's a perfect time for us to get a quick drink, I think, and something to eat for a little bit. So, make sure you stay tuned for the French Grand Prix at 9:42 exactly. And the drivers get a little bit, 15-minute break. They get a longer break for these moments because, obviously, they are starting to get fatigue and they need that break. But, yeah. Yeah, thanks for joining me for the first hour. We'll see you for the second hour.